Hello and welcome to the Noshing with Nina show. I'm your host, Nina Kennedy, and today we are at the NYWIFT MUSE Awards, New York Women in Film and Television, at the Hilton Hotel on 6th Avenue. And you can see we're here for the press conference, the red carpet, as the stars arrive. There should be some very important women in the film and television industry appearing today, receiving their MUSE Awards. So just take a look at some of the press who are our colleagues here for this cold morning. We have a limited amount of space to be able to access the celebrities, but this is where we'll be talking to the likes of the star of Sex and the City and the star of the film The Exorcist, if you remember that movie. So we're going to have a fun time here today. Check with you in a bit. Approaching the red carpet right now is Lisa Nishimura, who is the producer, VP of Original Documentary and Comedy Programming at Netflix. And some titles that are associated with her are Making a Murderer, Chef's Table, and the comedy lineup. So Lisa Nishimura coming now. Lisa, could we get a word? Could we get a word for the Noshing with Nina show? No? Next, we have Nancy Giles approaching on the red carpet. Nancy Giles, you probably know from CBS This Morning and several other cable talk shows where she's often a frequent guest. So today she is emceeing this event at the NYWIFT MUSE Awards. Hopefully we can get a word with her as she gets past us on the red carpet. So now you see Nancy Giles here being interviewed by the NYWIFT people, and she'll be along in a few minutes. We'll be able to catch an interview with her, I hope. And also, Ellen Burstyn is here on the red carpet. She just arrived. You might recall Ellen Burstyn was the mother in the film The Exorcist, and her career has just skyrocketed ever since. And she really is a role model for women in the industry. Hope we can catch a word with her.
Hello. Hi.
Do you have anything to say about the Me Too and Time's Up?
Well, yeah.
That we just elected 140,
which is wonderful.
Women?
I'll say very, very quickly, how great was it to watch Nancy Pelosi school President Trump on don't talk for me, especially since I'm the Speaker of the House, which just had more gains than ever in history. So don't try to talk, and she did it in the kind of calmest, classiest way without having to act like a bully. And I think there's all kinds of ways to speak. I think there's nothing wrong with us getting in touch with being angry or upset or vigilant or any of that stuff. But what I love most about NYWIFT and about this event, I think, is it just underscores how important our voices are and how important all of our stories are, from cradle to grave, every shape, size, sexual orientation, cultural background, city dwellers, country dwellers. We gotta, our stories are America and they're this world and they matter. And an organization like this has been at the forefront of making sure those stories are heard. So right on to NYWIFT for helping, I think, open up the world to how things should be. I mean, if it were a perfect world, maybe we wouldn't, quote unquote, need anything like NYWIFT, but I think we'd always need something like NYWIFT because women and women supporting women is just it's a vital thing.
Are you just shocked that we're where we are with civil rights and women's movement?
Right now, we should be farther along, but I think one thing that's happened, maybe because of the political landscape, is I think that more people are understanding how powerful each of us can be and that local politics really matter. That's where a lot of bad things have happened and that's where a lot of good things can be changed. When it comes to voting rights and women's rights, these states and these local municipalities, they've been really clamping down on voter rights and been suppressing votes and women's rights. And I do believe that maybe the way things have been have shaken people at their very core, and they're starting to understand that we the people really does mean something. That the government is us, from the local level all the way to the presidency, but we've got to show up. And again, make our voices heard. So
Go
yes.
see Bryan Cranston in Network.
Oh, I wanted to be in that. I know. I love that movie. I wanted to be that black revolutionary woman.
Yeah.
They brought her in from London. What am I going to do? You know.
Dare they?
But I love that. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's cool. All right. Yes.
Well, we just want to know what you think has changed positively for women in entertainment.
Well, I just heard that women leading movies are making more money now than male-dominated movies or male-lead movies. And I think Hollywood's a funny thing where money seems to talk, but it's manipulative because if women aren't given the opportunities to be the leads in films, the numbers are always going to make it look like we can't carry a film and we can't make money. So I I don't want to just go to money, but I think that's an important thing because I think the more people understand that stories about women are fascinating and interesting and will put butts in seats, since that's what matters, the more opportunities there'll be. There have definitely been more women of color, more disabled women, more women with all kinds of sexual orientation. There's so many more stories that seem to be out there than there used to be when I was starting in the business. So that's really encouraging and humbling also to feel like you're living through these changes and you can see, there's a commercial with a black couple and it's about like a financial concern. You never saw that when I was growing up. Everything was all white people. It was mostly white men. Or here's a show like Glow that's got transgender actors and it's doing really well. And just great stories. Or someone like Maysoon, Zayid is going to be here, who's from the Middle East, and her story. Everybody, as a Muslim American woman, her story's being told. That's really important. It's all important. It's all inspiring. Thanks. Hi. Nice to see you.
We're rolling. We're here with Nancy Giles.
Hello.
Here emceeing the NYWIFT MUSE Awards again this year. So what's been going on with you lately?
In the last year, let's see, I have a podcast called The Giles Files that I love. That's on Apple, iTunes, and on the iPhone app and Google Play and Stitcher. And I love it, and I'm trying to see if I can jump from doing that to being back on the radio, which I really, really loved. See if I can get a weekly radio show somewhere, because I love talking to callers and stuff like that. Yeah. So that's on the docket. Still doing CBS News Sunday Morning, which I love. Still writing and have a solo show in the works. I've done 4 already, and right now I'm just trying to hopefully preserve my voice so that when I get up there to do the thing, it's not like,
Well, it's so good to see you here.
There's more important people coming up.
Oh, well, you're the most important.
That's so sweet.
I just want to get down to the dirty with you. There are no black women who are being honored this year.
Yeah, I know.
What's that about?
Well, there are women of color. Maysoon Zayid is being honored, and that's great. Mm-hmm. And they have in the past, and I'm sure they will again. And I'm happy to be up there. And gee, I might have to find some funny way to mention that from the podium. But today's a day of celebration. I don't want to short shrift that. Your point is well taken.
Right.
Because all women of color need to be celebrated. And I'm sure there have been many years where there have been no Latino women honored. And I think it's really important to see Maysoon up there. So we'll get it back. Don't worry. We'll get it back. I'm working on it. I'm working on getting one.
All right. And I heard Ava DuVernay is in town today.
Oh, I know. So but you know what? I will say this. And I know that sometimes the people that they offer the awards to aren't available, and I know, without naming names, that there were 2 women of color that they wanted to honor, but neither was available to be here, and that's an important part of this whole thing. So they're on the docket. We're always there. Right. I can tell you who secretly later, but
okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're so glad to see you. Good luck up there. Preserve your voice.
Thank you. Thanks,
Take care.
Guys.
Good to see you. So now the pièce de résistance, Sarah Jessica Parker, is here. Everybody knows Sarah Jessica Parker from Sex and the City. We'll see if we can get a word with her on her way into the ballroom. Here comes Ellen Burstyn. See if we could catch a word. Hello, Ellen. Could we get a hello to the Nosh with Nina show?
How are you?
So glad to see you here. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm very honored. I love this.
Beautiful. Next we have Tricia Brock, who is the director of The Walking Dead, Younger, 30 Rock, and Mr. Robot. And she's receiving the Nancy Malone Directing Award. We'll see if we can catch a word with her.
Hi.
Hi, congratulations
Thank you.
on receiving your award.
I know, it's a little overwhelming, but it's really great. It's really, really great.
Well, we wanted to ask you, what advice would you give to young women who want to enter into the directing field?
I have to repeat it because it's the biggest advice I have, which is do not take no for an answer. I used to say, people would say no, and then I would say, that's just when I'm getting started. I get started at no. So you just can't let it wear you down.
Yes, exactly. Now, tell us what's next for you. What's coming up on your horizon?
I am going to Europe for Christmas.
Oh, fantastic.
And with my family, and then I'm going to go to New Orleans in January and direct a new show that Kirsten Dunst is starring in, called On Becoming a God in Central Florida. It's a very funny script, very, very funny.
Beautiful, beautiful. We'll be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Great. Well, congratulations
Thank you.
again.
Thank
on
you
your
so
award.
much. Thank you. Yes.
Now we have Terry Lawler approaching. She's the past executive director of NYWIFT, and this is her first year as an honoree, since she's been the executive director for many years. And maybe we'll catch a word with her on the red carpet as she gets close to us. Word?
Oh my God, okay.
Hello.
Is camera off, just taping? Camera. Here.
Camera, yes. And we're happy to have Terry Lawler, former executive director of the NYWIFT Muse Awards, NYWIFT altogether. So tell us what your plans are now that you're being able to take a rest.
I am going to be doing consulting work, not full time, but I'm going to work for organizations that make grants to women, to filmmakers, women and men, and do readings and do look at works in progress and make recommendations. That's what I'm doing for the next couple of months, and then we'll see what happens after that.
Fantastic. Well, you've been a part of this organization for how long?
For 21 years.
21 years. You really single-handedly ran it like a pro. And what were some of your highlights during your time with NYWIFT?
Well, we tripled in size and tripled in budget. We started the Writers Lab for Women Over 40, which is sponsored by Meryl Streep and Nicole Kidman. We started from script to pre-production, which is a workshop for writer-directors, helping them get their projects ready to show producers. We increased the number of below-the-line members and people of color in the organization. So I feel like we really made the organization bigger, stronger, more diverse, and more powerful.
Beautiful. You've done so much to help women over the years. And
Thank
I
you.
love the new haircut. Looks
Oh,
fabulous.
thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Terry.
Take care.
Now you see Sarah Jessica Parker being interviewed by NYWIFT, and she's going to receive one of our awards today. We'll try to get a word with her as she comes by in a moment.
I like honoring somebody and handing off.
The other way.
So, I summon some courage or whatever.
And Sex and the City has done so much for us women, and we're from German TV. It's all over Europe, and we all love it. So could you tell me in your words how it changed, like the self-confidence of women? We're talking.
I can't speak to how it changed the self-confidence of women because I think it's not an academic exercise, and it's not for me to say how something I was involved in affected other women. But obviously women share stories of what the show meant to them and the characters and the stories. And the particular journey, as written so beautifully by our writers, and that's been very meaningful.
And you're also a fashion icon, and you look I love your jewelry, by the way. That's really wonderful.
Thank you.
And but you're also a mom. How do you manage? Are you always have time to think about what you're wearing every morning?
No. I mean, and most mornings I don't have to. Most mornings I'm going about my day, and I don't have to be presentable.
And I heard in divorce that there are more women behind the camera than actually men. So tell me, how important is this? Is it to work with, or how wonderful is it to work with women?
Oh, it's fantastic. My production company's been all women for most of its existence. We had a wonderful young man left to go get his doctorate, replaced by women, and we're now all women. And we have been for years and years and years. And Obviously, as I've spent a lot of time working with women on camera, but I think, I think diversity on sets in work environments, whether it's, in a more conventional business environment or on a set, has been invaluable. I think to talk about those changes and to see those changes slowly start to happen has been really good for all of us.
Okay. Last question. Will there be a Sex and the City number
I have no idea. None. I promise 2 seconds. Yes. Hi. I just That's the things I never say. Those are the special things. Just for my family. We'll be together. We can't wait. We have a brief holiday together, and then we're both back to work.
Okay. All right. I'll let you go. All right. Read those books.
I will definitely. Thank you. Thank you.
Can you get it?
Say that one more time.
Sex and the City
Yes.
lovers.
Yes. Got it. Got it. Got
Being
it.
a role model, what does that mean to you?
I don't think of myself that way, but I do think that I've had a lot of opportunities to engage with women, whether it's a conversation I'm having like I'm having with you or a larger one that's slightly removed by virtue of a story that I got to tell. Speaking specifically of Sex and the City, it's been very meaningful, and I think the one thing that I like about social media, I'm terribly conflicted about all of it in general, but Instagram has allowed me to have those more intimate conversations that I never, there was no social media when we were shooting Sex and the City. So there wasn't that same kind of engagement that is possible now, and I will say it's been one of the great parts of being bold enough to participate is to have a real conversation with that gang of 10 million women. It's been quite wonderful, and to be associated with anything that has connected with somebody is really anybody in any job wants their work to be meaningful in some way. So it's been wonderful. That's a long answer to a short question.
No, that's fine. Do you see your career with the new movie, which was lovely and poignant, and Divorce, do you see it being a little more serious, a little more darker, a little more emotional?
I've never predicted a tone or characterized my career in any specific way. I always want to do work that's interesting and that's scary and challenging, that feels unfamiliar, and I try to make choices based on that particular criteria.
Do you make time for friends? Are your friends still?
Oh God, yes.
With your busy life?
Oh, one cannot sustain a creative life without friends and family and food and culture outside of your own professional experiences. I wouldn't know how to function.
You look lovely. I
Thank
stopped
you.
in the shoe store the other day.
Oh.
They love you, love you, love you.
I love them too.
And the shoes are just spectacular.
Thank you very much. Nice to speak to you.
Sarah, congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
What would you say to young girls who've watched your show and they want to be able to launch a successful series like yours?
I think work hard, and don't have success be the destination point. I think have an interest in work and the accumulation of experiences and failures and small triumphs that nobody else needs to know about.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Sarah Jessica Parker on the Noshing with Nina show. Stay tuned. The red carpet is winding down here at the NYWIFT MUSE Awards in Manhattan this early December morning. And we just finished our interview with Sarah Jessica Parker. And now everyone is going into the ballroom for the actual luncheon and the presentation of the awards. So hopefully we can get some footage inside. We'll see. Wish us luck.
It's time to make your way to the Grand Ballroom. Ladies and gentlemen, please proceed to the Grand Ballroom. The event is about to begin. You gotta get in when you can.
I know.
Attention, Kmart shoppers. Oops, wrong announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, please make your way to the Grand Ballroom. The event is about to begin.
These are the These are the final moments of the red carpet, and now everyone is going into the ballroom for the actual awards and the luncheon. We are starving. So we saw Sarah Jessica Parker and Ellen Burstyn a few minutes ago, and it's all winding down right now.